Welcome to Food for Life TV. Food for Life TV is designed to help you improve and maintain your health. We offer nutrition tips and cooking demonstrations by PCRM experts. You can find all of our Food for Life TV archive shows and more information about this program at foodforlifetv.org. Enjoy the show.
If you have type 2 diabetes, there are some foods that can really make it a lot better, and there are others that can make it worse. Let's take a look at a muscle cell. Why a muscle cell? Because the glucose that's building up in your bloodstream, where it's supposed to be going most of the time, is to your muscles. Glucose, blood sugar, powers your muscle cells. Well, it needs the insulin key to get that glucose into the cell. What I mean is, just like a key going into a lock turns some tumblers and then opens a door, the insulin that attaches to the insulin receptor on the surface of a muscle cell through intracellular signaling opens up the cell membrane to allow the glucose into the cell to power it. But that's the problem in type 2 diabetes. There's plenty of insulin there, maybe even more than in other people. The pancreas is still making insulin. But the problem is, once that insulin arrives at the surface of the cell and attaches to the receptor, it can't get those little channels in the membrane open. They refuse to open. And I often liken it to a man arrives home from work and he pulls out his key and he puts it in the front door lock and he notices the door doesn't open. And he looks at the key and it's fine. And he looks in the lock and then he discovers, while he was gone, somebody put chewing gum in his lock. So what's he going to do for the rest of his life? Go in and out the window? I don't think so. What he's going to do is clean out the lock. And we can do that with our cells. But we don't have chewing gum in our cells. What do we have? We have fat. It can be animal fat from meat, from dairy products, from eggs, or it can be vegetable oils. It can be olive oil, it can be fryer grease, whatever it is. It's getting into the cell and it's blocking that signaling that opens up the membrane. So, what are the foods that I want to get away from? Well, burgers, fried chicken, cheese. Cheese is 70% fat. It's about as close to Vaseline as you can get. And vast majority of that fat is what we call saturated fat. That's the kind that raises your cholesterol. But what about things like avocados or olives or peanut butter? Well, those are pretty fatty too. And you can certainly say it's a healthier kind of fat, but if you've got fat packing into your muscle cells, you really want to keep all fats to a minimum. So don't do what I used to do as a kid in North Dakota. I would take a jar of peanut butter and a spoon, call that lunch. No, don't do that. Way too much fat. Right?
Fat and cholesterol, they could ruin your appetite forever. Tonight, make it vegetarian. Visit PCRM.org.
Now, there are healthier foods, and let's take a look at those. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans. Yes, they've got protein, they've got vitamins and minerals, but one thing they don't have very much of is fat. So if they're front and center in your diet, what happens? You get plenty of nutrition, but there isn't fat getting into your muscle cells. Instead, whatever fat you've accumulated starts coming out. And also, because these foods are very high in fiber, they're satisfying, so people tend to lose weight. So the fat is draining out not just from their muscle cells, but from their fat stores too. That's why people who follow vegan diets really are usually not complaining about the weight problems that all their friends are preoccupied with. Okay, so there you have it. The things you want to get away from: the fatty foods, the meats, dairy products, eggs, and also keep the vegetable oils and foods that contain them very low too, and load up on the whole grains, beans, vegetables, and fruits, and all the wonderful foods that we can make from them. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for tuning in. You can learn more about today's topic, as well as information on weight loss, diabetes management, and other relevant chronic diseases at PCRM.org. You can also learn more about the health benefits of a vegan diet and the new 4 food groups. Want more information on the merits of a plant-based diet? Go to nutritionmd.org. To continue this discussion or start a new one, share your successes, your challenges, and find answers to your questions, go to our message board at pcrm.org/messageboard. And join us next week for Food for Life TV.